This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 129 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. Tack and Habit top picks from AETA. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our title sponsor is Omega Alpha. You can find them at omegaalpha.ca. This episode is also sponsored by Equestrian Collections. You can find them at equestriancollections.com. Plus Uncle Jimmy's. They're at uncle-jimmys.com. This is Glenn McGeek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, featuring Tack and Habit top picks from AETA.
So we decided this week, Helena, to really combine the two shows, Stable Scoop and Tack and Habit, because we had so much fun this past weekend at the American Equestrian Trade Association that we had to share it with everybody.
We did, I think so much fun doesn't even begin to describe just how much fun we actually had. It's don't be confused. It was still work, and goodness knows, Glenn and I we spent plenty of time on our behinds.
Yeah, we recorded 22 segments for the Tack and Habit show that we're going to have coming up in many of the following weeks coming up. But Jamie was in from the Horses in the Morning show, which we recorded live from there on Monday morning. And you two became fast friends, and you just were hanging out all weekend.
Oh, we had a great time. It was amazing. It's like we've known each other for ages. And we were bopping around, in the 15 minutes in between recordings that I had to scan the acres and acres of products.
Yeah,
it was literally, we were the only people running around the show. Be like, okay, we've got 8 minutes to go down to the Charles Owen booth, get a vest, and come back.
And then I think between the two of you spent some money.
Yeah, not a whole lot, but on very practical items. I did get a beautiful Charles Owen new helmet.
Uh-huh.
I got the Air 8. I did. The one that I was drooling over from August that Roy had introduced us to in August. I went ahead and bought that one because mine is coming on 6 years old. So
yeah, it was time to get a new helmet.
Yeah, the protective material was starting to degrade, and I had to get a new one. So there they were, right there in all their glory, Charles Owen calling to me.
Well, and it looked good on you.
It looked really good. There isn't a Charles. I mean, Charles Owen just does things right. They keep you safe and alive, and they make you look damn good. So, yeah. And then I bought a protective vest for Grace. I got the JL9 so that I don't have to worry when she rides.
Well, and we'll see. She's probably going to think she's pretty hot stuff in that little vest.
I hope so. Well, you know how sensitive she is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if it's cute, it'll be important.
It's purple. How can it not
that'll
be
be perfect.
I know.
That'll be perfect. And, of course, the AETA show was the vendor show that all the wholesalers come and sell to the retailers. So tack shops from all over the world were there, and we got to meet a lot of new people. We also obviously did a lot of recordings, which is what we're going to bring to you today. We're actually going to bring you 3 of the products that were our favorites from the show. We're going to bring those to you today and the recordings that we actually did at AETA. And this will give you, for our Stable Scoop listeners, this will give you an idea of what we do over in the Tack and Habit show. So if you haven't listened to the Tack and Habit show yet, this will give you an idea of what kind of fun we have over there, and you might want to start taking a listen to that show as well. And for our Tack and Habit listeners, it's just more of the same fun stuff. But we did find some unique things. I think we certainly had a variety of things that we found over the weekend. And one of the things that was heartening for both Helena and I is when we were there in August, the mood was not great. The recession was in full swing. People weren't selling much. People weren't buying much. And it just was not a good mood there. I think the mood this time, and I don't know if you agree with this, Helena, was completely different.
Way better. It was much improved from August. I think a strong holiday sales helped. And I think, quite honestly, people are tired of holding on to their money. I know that sounds a little silly, but I think people are just tired of not spending their money on horse stuff. And
right.
That's trickling up, from the consumers to the retailers to the wholesalers. And there was the booths were bigger this time. There was more thought and pride put into them. There were some new companies, even some companies I'd never heard of, just brand new to the horse market. Crossover companies who've been selling products to other industries are now breaking into the equestrian market. So there was a little bit of an energy there going on. I'm pretty psyched for spring.
And the vendors were saying that they definitely had sold more, and they were much happier with this show than they were in the last couple of years even.
You know, there was one thing that I don't want to say it confused me, but I was a little bit surprised. I think we went in there looking to find spring and summer products. And the interesting thing was that a lot of these vendors were selling their fall and winter products.
Yes, they're working that far ahead.
They are working that far ahead. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. There was some, you know, like JPC, they had their full line of spring, super cute spring wear. But, you know, there were some spring and summer things here and there. But for the most part, we were looking at fall and winter items, which, gosh, I never thought I'd want next winter to come.
No, we're gonna wait for that for a while after this mess.
I'll wear a ski coat at the beach if I have to.
What a year for winter! But the groundhog, you know, good news from the groundhog. So we're hoping that that you can be swimming with your toes in the ocean up there in no time.
Is it sunny there right now, or do you guys?
It is a sunny day. We finally have a sunny day here in Lexington, and it's cold, but at least it's sunny. So.
Yeah, it's cold and sunny here too in the Boston area. We're expecting the 40-degree temperatures over the weekend, so that is really, to me, that's a heat wave.
Well, let's hope you melt some of your snow and you can get back to riding again.
I know, I'm jonesing big time.
Well, where are the products? So let's do some products today. And we're going to do our first one was a product that I was very impressed with because he demonstrated it for us, as you're going to hear. And we're going to do that right after this commercial break. We'll have our first product from the AETA trade show. Omega Alpha Pharmaceuticals creates only natural health products. Their scientists, guided by Dr. Gordon Chang, formulate a wide variety of mainly herbal health products to address many equine health problems. And one of their users is international Canadian sensation event rider Jessica Phoenix. And we have Jessica on here for a second to tell us what she thinks about Omega Alpha. Well, hi, Jess. I hear that you use Omega Alpha.
I do. I love their products. I've started using them this year, and the one product that I really love is Anti-Flam. It just takes the sting out of the horse's feet and keeps them moving comfortably. And I know that from using it in our barn, a lot of horses have benefited from it.
You can look for their products at retailers nationwide or visit their website at omegaalpha.ca. That's omegaalpha.ca. Well, we're back, and we're going to bring you our first product. This gentleman's name was Joe Provenzano. I hope I got that right, Joe. And he had a product called Odor No More. And I got to tell you, it was Horse Journal's Product of the Year, and there's a reason. It was very impressive. And you're going to hear in this recording we did at the AETA Trade Show with Joe Provenzano. Well, we have Joe Provenzano here from Odor No More. And Jennifer, actually, no. I'll tell you who found this for us today was Kent from Hopper Expositions, who was kind enough to invite us to come here in the first place. And he came over, and out of all the booths in here, all 1,000 booths in here, he said, "There's a product you gotta go see." So we walked back and we took a look, and this comes highly recommended from the organizer of this event. And now, this is something horse husbands always, it's one of the ways we try and get out of doing the stalls when our wife asks us to, is, boy, some days they're just really, really stinky. You get that ammonia smell and you just want to pass out some days. So that's what we're talking about, is something to solve that problem, right?
That's correct.
And Kent said he used this product at the International Equestrian Festival during the World Equestrian Games, where we were recording our World Equestrian Games radio show. And he said it really took the smell out of the inside of the convention center. So tell us about it. How did it come to be? And then apparently you're going to demonstrate it for us today so we can see exactly how it works.
Yeah, we'll do a quick demonstration for
Good.
you. Absolutely.
So it's Odor No More, and the company is BioLargo?
BioLargo Inc. is the parent company.
Okay.
So Odor No More Incorporated is a wholly owned subsidiary of BioLargo.
Great. Got it. Okay.
And obviously it was designed for that purpose, that get that stinky ammonia out. Tell us about that.
Well, the core chemistry set or the technology set was developed by BioLargo Inc., and we have a suite of patents that cover the applicable uses for it, whether it be in the oil and gas industry or human health care. Obviously, based on the hat, I'm a horseman and my whole life since I'm 5 years old. So I went to the team and said, I have an applicable use for it. And they kind of gave me the reins, pun intended, and allowed me just to kind of go out and develop the product. So we pulled in some high-level thoroughbred trainers and industry champions to help us test and develop the product before we took it to market. And the goal was basically to be the most effective product in its space and to really attack the issues that are related to odor and moisture control within the stall environment.
All right, so let's talk about how it's used first. I buy it how, first of all?
Well, the product is
liquid or granular?
We have a liquid version and we have a dry form.
And do I put it right on the floor of the stall with, like, the bedding's off and I put it down?
Yeah, typically, as I'm sure you know, horses have their favorite pee spot, the term we use in the stall.
Yep.
So you identify the urine spot and remove the saturated
That's a
bedding.
technical term, isn't it? Pee spot.
Pee spot, correct.
It's official.
That's our technical term.
Hey, there is one.
So you identify the pee spot in each individual horse's stall, and you remove the saturated bedding from that area, and you treat the product directly onto the ground or the mat, and then replace your bedding over the top of it.
So you just sprinkle it on?
Right. The suggested application rate is typically about 8 ounces per day. So very, very, very minute application rate.
8 ounces per day. Okay,
Correct.
on your average pea spot size.
Right.
Okay. So so you're mucking, you get your stall, you get your wet bedding out. Do you need to let the area dry first? Can you put it directly on the spot? Or you just
Yeah, well,
pull the bedding away and sprinkle?
The product is not just an odor control product, it is a moisture control product.
Okay, so it sucks.
One of the big value propositions of the product is it will reduce the amount of bedding that you consume and dispose of, in many cases 50, 60, 75%. So the product is beyond cost neutral to the user. It actually saves them money in managing their facility.
All right, you have a demonstration for us. What are you going to do for us today?
What I have here is simulated urine, because it's hard to travel with urine.
Not something we really aspire to.
Exactly. So this is an ammonia...
Although in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia traffic, I could have helped you out.
Sure. This is an ammonia solution, and we dose it typically at about 100 parts per million. What we find is in a typical stall, this is the higher level than the typical ammonias that you would find in a stall.
So that's ammonia. He has a bottle with ammonia in it.
That's correct. It's an ammonia solution. So I'm going to ask you to smell it. Be careful, because I want you to keep
Waft.
me honest.
Do the scientific way. Waft.
It's ammonia.
It is ammonia.
Trust us, it's ammonia.
My eyes are bugged out of my head right now.
Alina's over here crying.
So as you can see, but obviously the listeners can't, it essentially looks like a shavings
It
material.
does look like shavings.
Small white plastic bag. It looks
Correct.
like it's got shavings
Can
with some
we
kind of
touch it?
Sure,
white
and this is
flaky
actually a
salt in it.
sample bag, so
Okay.
this is
So
not
it's safe to touch.
Oh,
and handle.
absolutely.
Not like lime where you
The
don't
product
want
It
to...
actually looks like sawdust.
Right. The product
Yes.
is completely non-toxic.
Okay.
It's safe for human and animal consumption.
Don't eat it.
No, I was
So-
smelling it.
Oh. I thought he was going to eat it.
It actually is safe for consumption. So there's
Still,
nothing,
don't eat it,
right.
Glenn.
Lunch.
There's nothing toxic in there whatsoever. So if our animals do eat it, and sometimes the horses tend to pick at the bedding and things of that nature,
Chickens?
there's nothing harmful
It
in there.
looks
at all.
like sawdust and it
Eco-friendly,
smells like
non-toxic.
sawdust.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, so
Right.
so
Okay.
So what it is we use kiln-dried fibers, which is shavings, typically pine.
okay.
We use super absorbents like you would find in, well, the easiest scenario, the easiest kind of visual to get would be like what you would find inside of a baby diaper,
Yep.
right? That it's dry, and then when it gets wet, it swells.
Yep.
This is a food-grade absorbent, so it's used in thickening agents and syrups and
like
things of that nature
pudding
as well.
and things like that.
Exactly. And then there's the
Do you
core-
mean I'm eating wood in my pudding?
Yes. You're eating a lot worse. Trust me, in your pudding. You buy it from a grocery store. So it absorbs
Right.
and it holds on to the moisture.
Correct.
And then there's something else in it, obviously, that eliminates the odor.
Right. The core BioLargo technology is the utilization of common micronutrients that we feed our animals every single day and we eat in human multivitamins. But what the uniqueness about it is when you combine the two core micronutrients together, we're actually generating disinfecting levels of free iodine.
Okay,
Now,
can you put that in English?
So we're generating iodine. So
Okay.
we're using common micronutrients that we and our animals eat.
Yep.
But when you combine them together, it generates an iodine.
So stuff put together
Right.
makes iodine.
Correct.
And the iodine, why is that good?
Well, because it's probably the most potent odor eliminator known.
Okay, great.
Okay.
There we go.
In the other sides of our business, we use them as disinfectants, as I had alluded to earlier, the oil and gas industries and other industries.
Yep.
In the pet industry, there's really no need for that. We're trying to control odor and moisture, so these are odor and moisture control products. So they're not regulated or no claims associated with disinfection whatsoever. But really, that's the mechanism of action for eliminating the odor.
All right, so we got this.
Oh.
We have a little bottle of...
So the odor is generated by bacteria?
Yeah, sure.
And
Bacterial
this
growth.
is really, so it's not making the claim to be antibacterial, but that's how it's eliminating the odor.
Correct.
Is by eliminating the bacteria.
Oxidative odor control is the term that we would use.
Oxidative odor control. That makes me feel important. You actually have a
fancy.
piece of this on the
I know,
end.
I've been
I told
sniffing
you
it.
not to eat it.
All right, so we have a bottle
Oxidative odor
of
control.
goop here.
Right. And so, again, this is a demo. So what I'm going
Okay.
to do is I'll load it heavy for time's sake.
Okay.
Yep.
And as I alluded to, the suggested application rate is about 8 ounces a day. So it's a very small application
Now he's
rate.
pouring,
So I'm going to load
That's
it
per
really-
stall, right?
That's per stall.
Yeah. Okay.
and you're
Correct.
pouring this right into the
The ammonia.
Into the jar.
ammonia
Correct.
that we have here.
Couple things to note that are key is one, it's dust free, no dust. Right, we buy bedding for our animals that claim to be low dust and dust free, and then we go put additives in our stall that generate dust. It makes no sense.
Please,
right?
yeah.
So when we formulated the product, it was important to make sure that we weren't adding to the stall what it didn't need to have.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you've poured some of your product right into the ammonia solution.
Now, how big is this
And
bottle?
it's sitting
Like
there
10 ounces?
fermenting
That's about a
now.
16-ounce bottle.
Okay.
There's typically between 6 and 8 ounces of ammonia solution in there.
Okay, and it's been sucked right up, and there's still dry
Correct.
dry
Well,
material from the...
Right. So as I started to say, a couple things to note: dust free. The other thing is it's always staying dry on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your horse is standing on clean, dry footing at all times. He's not standing in urine-soaked bedding.
You put a little yeast in the bottom there, you'd be making beer.
Yeah. So okay, I don't understand then how once you put this on when you Oh, wait. So hold on. Do you put it on after you clean the pee
Yes.
spot up?
Yes.
Yeah, remove the saturated bedding from the stall and expose where the horse
And then
pees.
you just
Okay,
sprinkle
then you
this
put
on.
this down.
You put this
Then
down.
you put bedding
and
over
you put your
it.
new bedding over it.
Okay.
Right.
So whatever moisture is left on the mats or on the stall floor gets absorbed by this material. Then because the top layer stays dry,
Correct.
it's like a buffer layer, and then
Correct.
you have your new bedding on top, whether
Correct.
it be straw or shavings or
Correct.
whatever.
Well,
Okay.
and one of the things I had mentioned early on is it reduces the bedding consumption drastically because all of the urine is being captured in our product as opposed to hitting the hard pack under your bedding and spreading out and then being absorbed up.
Okay,
right?
so it's really doing two things. When you put it down initially, it's eliminating the odor, but then when the horse urinates again on top of it,
Correct.
it will absorb it better.
Correct. Because
Okay.
as we know, the velocity of the urine going into the stall hits the bottom. It goes through the bedding, hits the hard pack, and then is absorbed back up.
So let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you bed? Let's just dollars aside.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you bed your entire stall with this stuff?
You can't put dollars aside when you ask that
Okay,
question.
so that's the reason. It's just too expensive
That's
to do
exactly
that.
why.
So you want to use it, but you have to use it smart.
Right. Correct.
Okay, so now what has happened?
Because I
Okay.
want to bed with it. It's dust free. It eliminates odors. It's clean. It's non-toxic.
It'll only cost you $4,000 a day.
a stall.
And we're happy to sell it to you.
Yeah, she'd be happy for you to bed your born in it.
So again, as we said, it's dust free. It stays dry on top.
Okay.
And then this is visual, so we'll have to kind of explain it to them. But it grabs all the liquid and it just solidifies it
Where's my
instantly.
camera?
Oh, it became hard.
See,
Hold on a minute.
So the part that got wet is just stuck to the bottom of the jar.
right?
and
It
it's not
solidifies
going
all the
anywhere.
urine, so it's wicking it away from the animal and solidifying it into our product.
Oh, look at that. So it becomes a
Nice.
lump. It's sort of like lumping kitty litter that way.
Plumbing
Yeah,
litter.
Yeah.
similar,
Yeah.
except typical kitty litters are made of clays, which
No
have
way.
Okay, so now what we have done is we've taken this and we've smelled this. What was in here? It was a
100 part per million ammonia solution.
ammonia solution.
And we could
it
barely
smelled
sniff
and you
it.
were about crying your eyeballs out.
And now we just stuck
I
our
just
faces in
stuck
it.
my nose in this jar
It
and
smells like
sniffed,
pine
and all I
shaving.
smell is pine shaving.
Correct.
Wow.
One of the very unique things about the product is we've designed it really in very small particle sizes. So when you go and clean your stall out tomorrow, it
That
falls
is
through the
amazing.
manure rake and stays in the stall. You don't want to remove it
Exactly.
because
Smaller
it'll work
pieces.
over and over and over again. Okay?
That is freaking amazing.
It'll work over and over and over
It'll continue
again.
to work over and over again. Over the course of 45 to 60 days, depending on the environment in which it's used,
Right.
It'll naturally degrade,
Yeah.
and it essentially becomes dirt.
Oh, so it's not just one application and this is done.
No. The suggested application rate is about 8 ounces per day in the
right.
first month. Now, in the
Right.
second month, because you've built a little bit of a residual of the product in the stall, you'll use less and less and less. And over the course of 2 or 3 months, you'll be down to using maybe every 3 or 4 days.
So then it only cost you
treat the stall.
$2,000
So you're
a day.
actually so really it ends up becoming a base layer of your bedding.
Right.
So you're not adding it all at the same time and
Correct.
removing it. It's becoming the base. You're
That is
building it up
really hard to
gradually.
believe. I got to tell you, Jennifer told us, you got to see this demonstration. It really is effective. This made your eyes water. I
Yeah,
mean, when we
it was
sniffed it
significant,
first.
the ammonia smell before, correct.
And it's like a lump of, almost like a lump of
Oatmeal.
odor no more oatmeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
there
I
are other
wouldn't eat it.
products in this line that you have here as well.
Right. That is labeled as a facilities and equipment wash. We have a lot of people that actually wash their animals with it directly. You can use it in your waterers, your feeders, underneath your mats, right? If you use stall
It's
mats.
safe for water buckets
It's absolutely safe for consumption.
because
And
it's
it-
non-toxic.
And the horses, it doesn't
Eco-friendly.
inhibit them from wanting to drink the water because it's tasteless essentially to them.
All right, I found the one that I'm most interested in, and that's our stinky cat.
Yes.
You have cat litter
The beast.
additive.
Correct.
That is something. So you just sprinkle this on your kitty litter?
Suggested application rate is about a teaspoon per week on any
Just
cat
sprinkled
litter
on
at all.
top or on the bottom? On the bottom.
Well,
of
the cat's going to mix it in himself in his process
Oh, that's
of doing
true.
his business.
So just a week, and this eliminates odor.
100%. There will be no odor in the litter box. You won't even know you have a cat in the
You
house.
realize you're not leaving with this bottle. You'll have to mug me for
I'm,
it.
I'm happy to leave you guys.
That's good because I struggle with. I really don't like to use the perfumed clumping litters. There's a cedar litter product that
Correct.
you get in the supermarket, which I absolutely love, but it's not the greatest at controlling odor. It's
Right.
great at absorbing,
Sure.
which we all know,
I'll
being
share
horse
it with
people
you.
and pines.
You can
so
have half
if I
my
just
odor
took
stuff.
that cedar cat litter and sprinkled this stuff in,
Well, our suggestion to most of our users is buy the cheapest cat litter you can possibly buy.
okay,
Because this is doing all the work for you.
okay.
So don't spend the money on the high-end litters because you don't need it. This is more effective than any litter you'd buy.
Okay, so give us some price points on your products so that people have.
The cat litter additive is 12 and a half ounces. It's typically a 45 to 60 day supply, and it retails for just under $10.
So
Oh,
under
that's
$10,
beautiful.
you get 2 months.
Get 2 months.
That's
Okay.
great. That's great. Now, what about the
what
bag
about
of?
The bedding additive is a 10-pound bag that it comes in the
Okay.
store. It retails for just under $40.
Fine.
And it is typically, in the first month, as I alluded to, it's about a 30-day supply. So you want to get that 10 pounds in the stall in the first 30 days. In the second month, you may only use 5 of the pounds, and you're going to go to 3 pounds or 4 pounds. So over time, progressively, you'll use less and less and less of the product.
Well, this is great. Where
Oh,
can
really?
people buy it?
Well, we're distributed through most of the big national distributors. We have 300 or 400 feed and tack stores all over the country that are carrying the product, and we're expanding now out into
And what's
foreign
your
countries.
website?
odornomore.com.
With
And
the
we will
dashes or
No
the
dashes,
kitty on the
okay.
front. I love the pictures of the kitties. I love the orange kitty on the front. Did you see the orange kitty? He's a
So you
troublemaker.
could go to Jeffers Equine through their catalog or online. You could do Dover Saddlery. All of the online and catalog
they
channels.
carry the kitty litter
They all
stuff
carry
too?
our products.
Oh,
So,
yes.
and we will put links to more product details as well as where you can buy it at tackandhabit.com. So if you log into our website, you can take your pick as to where you'd like to buy it. Odor
Well,
no more.
This is terrific. Your demonstration was very effective.
It
Yeah.
works very well. It's great to be doing it at a trade show like this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you get the attention of the people and then you get to keep their attention.
Yes.
Yeah, with this, you definitely did.
Good
Thank
job,
you, Joe.
Thank
no
you
problem.
so much.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, our pleasure.
Pleasure.
So Odor No More comes in so many different sizes. You know, I wish I could have come back home with that 10-pound bag, but unfortunately I didn't want to be dragging that on the train. So
That's all right. We have it.
Right.
We have the 10-pound bag to use in our horse's stall.
I was really excited about it, though. I had seriously thought about slapping that bag on my back and hauling it up to Boston. But you guys will have to let us know how it works out. It is really good stuff.
Well,
really
we
good.
also got the kitty litter kind, so we're going to try out the kitty litter kind too. So we'll definitely let you know how it works out. But that demonstration he did, it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was. We were sticking our noses in that glass and stuff. All right, now we're going to, before we get on to the next product, which was my top pick from the entire show. In fact, it's one of my favorite products ever. It is the most simple, yet the most amazing product I think I hope you guys will agree with me. I think it is. But before we get to that, we're going to take a minute to listen to one of our sponsors.
For over a year now, we've been telling you about all the cool things happening at Equestrian Collections and the variety and selection of products they have at fantastic prices. But today we want to talk to you a little bit about their social networking and what a community they have built on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and search for Equestrian Collections, you're going to find that over 20,000 fans are now following Equestrian Collections on Facebook. And the reason is they have a dynamic community built over there. You know, on most store sites, most company sites, on Facebook, we'll just promote product and things like that. That's not what happens on Equestrian Collections. Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but mostly it's the community sharing pictures, talking about stories, asking questions of each other. It's an active, vibrant community, like a little forum right there on Facebook. Search for Equestrian Collections on Facebook or stop over to equestriancollections.com for all of your horse and rider needs. We're back, and we have coming up with us Brian Tillman, and we got to spend some time with over the weekend. He is from Hoof Wraps brand, and he had something that Helena just couldn't get enough of because she's ever so practical, her and my wife. Between the two of them, you can't do anything fun. It always has to be practical. Just kidding.
Practical
Just kidding,
is
Helena.
fun. Practical is fun.
Just kidding. You're a lot of fun. And this is Brian Tillman from Hoof Wraps brand.
All right, we have with us today Brian Tillman, and he's with Hoof Wraps brand, and he's going to talk to us about a very cool product. It's a hoof soaker. It's the Hoof Wraps brand soaker. And I'm looking at this thing, and I can see 1,000,001 uses for it, but let's start out with what it was designed to do.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me here. So this is, along with the other products in our line, this is just a down and dirty solution for hoof care. So we've got a collapsible soaker. It's lightweight. It's very durable. It's just something that you can fold up. You can take along in your emergency kit.
Let's explain for people who don't understand what that is. It's a bag about a foot tall, maybe 10 inches tall, that is made out of
2200 denier ballistic nylon.
Okay.
With a tough vinyl coating liner inside.
It looks like a miniature tote bag or like a bucket bag, and it's got these Velcro straps, 2 straps around it.
Right.
And it also has pull thingies.
Yep.
Drawstrings, thank you. Drawstrings at the top. And this thing is pretty durable. Now, the
and
bottom...
it's made to put the hoof in. It's made to
That's right. It's for soaking treatments. So like if you had a warm water Epsom salt that you wanted to soak in, or even ice, you could put crushed ice in it.
See?
There's a number of ways that your vet might ask you to use this product.
And it's a sturdy bag, so it stands upright on its own. It's got a base. It's got like a platform that has pads in it, right?
It does. So we'll have, each of these products will include 2 EVA foam pads and an extra strap. And so the pads are double duty service for us. They're going to provide a little bit of cushion for the hoof. They're also going to protect the bottom of the bag. So there's a vinyl liner. We don't want those sharp hooves or even a horse that was shod to cut into that liner. So this is going to extend the life of the product and offer a little comfort.
So this is actually, what this is used for would be great if you have to soak for abscesses, or even if you had to ice an ankle or anything like that?
That's exactly right. So, there are a number of horses who will cooperate with a standard bucket just fine.
Mine is not one of them.
You make your warm water Epsom salt, you put them in the bucket, and you go off, and everything's fine. There's other horses who just want to be a little bit ornery about the whole situation, right? So you turn your back, they kick over the bucket. You fill it up again, you turn your back, and so you're going through that deal. And
we've never had any of those,
right?
have we?
And so
and it always happens in the winter time and you live in the Northeast.
There's ice all over your face.
So you spend half your day.
Then you're dealing with another injury. Then you got to soak your whole horse.
So that's what this is for. So for those horses, this is an easy way. You can kind of get this on them and get it snugged up.
Well, that's the nice thing is with the Velcro straps. There's 2 Velcro straps, one at the top, one toward the middle. So it's going to snug up pretty tight around your horse's leg and ankle,
right.
So that the hoof it's pretty. They're not going to kick it off.
And then you can go off and muck stalls or do other chores while your horse is having a nice soak. So
and the inside is lined with.
Put your head in there and we'll see if it works. I'm just kidding.
It's like, no, for those of you, obviously this is radio. The look that I just gave Glenn was rather lethal. Sorry, the inside is lined with what? Because it's water.
It is waterproof, and this is a heavy-duty vinyl material. This is about a 16, 18-ounce vinyl on the inside liner.
And it's not bulky. It's not. I mean, it's easy to handle.
Sure,
it's light.
fold it up. So you could very easily fold this product.
He's crushing it right now.
And throw it right in your first aid kit. It's not going to take up very much room at all.
I love this thing.
The other nice thing, too.
I have to say, Jennifer went out and found this, and this is why I love Jennifer.
I did. I found this one. Give me some credit here,
Glenn found it. I got to back him on this.
He lies. Jennifer found it. Jennifer found it.
No, now, the other nice thing about having this pad at the bottom, which is removable and replaceable, is it's about a half an inch foam pad,
right.
Is that with the horses with shoes, they won't rip the heck out of the bottom and make it not waterproof or water.
Right.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so it'll save from getting the bottom all torn up.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so the water actually stays in your bucket.
And we'll have 2 pads in here, and of course, you can find these replacement pads just about anywhere. So that is again double duty, and it's going to protect the. It's going to extend the life.
What's it going to retail for?
It's going to retail for about $34, $35.
That's the right price.
Yeah,
that's great. All right, well, we're going to put links to photos and more information about this. It's Hoof Wraps brand soaker. And if you log on to tackandhabit.com, we will put links to where you can buy this. And it's available through tack dealers throughout the country, right?
Probably toward late April. We plan to launch this in about mid to late April.
So it's not immediately available. We have to keep an eye out for it.
Give me about 45 days.
Okay, and we will do that.
Real quick, before he goes, I want to, because this was one of the things I found fascinating, is tell us just the Reader's Digest version of how hoof wraps came into being, because I liked your story.
Yeah, they say necessity is the mother of invention, and that's very true here. I was helping a friend of mine rehab thoroughbreds, and they were just abscessing all the time, and I was making homemade bandages twice a day. It was really kind of painful in terms of time and all of this. And so these horses were being confined to a stall. They hated that. They were used to being on pasture, so they had a lot of anxiety. I'd pull them out twice a day, and it was like going to the rodeo, right? You're going to make this bandage now and do all this stuff. So it was really pretty inconvenient for me and the horse. And so I went out looking for something to solve those problems. I didn't really find anything that satisfied me in that regard. So I decided to make something, and a couple of years later, here I am in the horse business. So,
and we're very happy that you did, because I'm going to stock up.
No, thank you.
Well, so you're going to be ordering a couple of these when they come out?
Yes, I am.
I thought
I
so.
am. And I'm going to be giving them as gifts.
And he only had one there. He had a prototype there. But, I think if he had more between you and Jennifer, you'd have wiped him out.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. Bleh. I mean, really, it's just so simple. There's really not too much to say. Just look at it. Look at what it does. Listen to the shit. Listen to the description.
Yes,
it's crazy good.
It was good.
I want to use it for other things. Like, I want to use it to soak my feet and my dog's feet. And, I don't know, give my cat a bath, something. This thing has to have 1,000,001 uses.
I was going to say, your feet probably wouldn't fit in. I know mine wouldn't, but yours might. You have much smaller feet than me, so it might fit in that little bag. We're going to take one more break, and then we're going to be back with our final product. And I think you're going to want to hang around for this, because it was a whole lot of fun. Regular listeners to the Stable Scoop Show know that Helena and I just love Uncle Jimmy's and his fantastic line of products. His products have the highest quality ingredients, and that is why they have taken off like they have. Of course, it all started with Uncle Jimmy's hanging balls for use in the stalls, and then came squeezy buns. We know you need to reward your horse outside of the stall as well. That is why Uncle Jimmy developed Uncle Jimmy's squeezy buns. Squeezy buns are all natural and loaded with nutritional ingredients for your horse. Unlike similar products on the market, they are individually wrapped to preserve freshness and eliminate mess. With competitive pricing and Uncle Jimmy's quality guarantee, the squeezy buns promise to be a hit among horses and horse lovers alike. Learn more about all of Uncle Jimmy's products or to find a dealer, visit uncle-jimmys.com. That's uncle-jimmys.com. Well, we're back with our final product, and this was Craig Martin and Lee Milton, who, by the way, Jamie called them extremely hot on the morning show. I don't know if you agreed.
She was pretty accurate there. Yeah, there was. I was surprised. There were a lot of fellas at the show for an industry that's dominated by women. there were more than a few men at this trade show, and I think that might have been by design. These guys are kind of smart.
Yeah, well, and these two were definitely drew a crowd wherever they went, and they are the creators and of the Point 2 air vests, which are those vests that you see all the big eventers wearing now. Well, what was interesting about this is we recorded this segment the one day, but we'll tell you what happened the following day that you're going to want to watch a video of. But let's hear about the Point 2 air vests. Well, Helena, we are back here at AETA, and we have two guests with us that I was dying to get on, and we're gonna get to test their product tomorrow morning, which is going to be a lot of fun. We have the guys from Point 2 Air Vests, and we actually have spoken about them before on Stable Scoop way back a couple years ago when you first started coming to the market, and when we first started seeing the videos of the guys accidentally jumping off over in England and their vests blowing up, which was hilarious, by the way. You've provided a lot of comedy, but there's a serious side to this, too. Talk about Point 2. It's a vest that actually goes over a traditional safety vest in eventing, or for jockeys use them for racing and things like that.
Yeah. But, basically it's a lightweight, it's an airbag that goes over the top of the vest that they've got at the moment. They have a little strap that goes on the front of the saddle, so when you get on your horse, you clip yourself into a D-ring there. It has enough movement so you can lie right back, or you can go up the horse's neck. If you had a near miss, you can...
The strap that it has enough movement, okay.
Yeah, so if a lot of people say, sometimes I could be hanging around the horse's neck and they make a recovery. So there's enough room for complete movement, really.
Okay, so that connects the vest to the horse, to your saddle.
Yeah.
And
then when you fall off, it pulls a pin out, which is 6 stone of pressure, which is...
That's like 72 pounds.
72 pounds,
Thank
you guys call it.
The conversion. And then what happens?
So then the pin pulls out, it pierces the canister and inflates the jacket in 0.1 seconds. This is the important thing about this jacket.
0.1. That's 1/10 of a second.
That's 1/10 of a second. It's the fastest air jacket in the world, and it has to be that fast because you're hitting the ground really, really fast.
It's amazing how fast that comes up.
Yeah.
So these guys, you guys, we've seen these used. I've seen enough events now that we have seen, we have seen them used. We've seen them used effectively. They've been around long enough now. 2 years?
2 years now. Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of they've been, as I said, they've been used a lot. What kind of results have you gotten back?
Well, a lot of people were saying, everyone's seen some horrific falls in this jacket, and they're walking away, and they were saying, what scientific evidence have you got? So we went to one of the biggest test houses in Europe, TRL, Transport Research Laboratories.
No, they do the race car guys.
They do the Formula One cars, crash test them. They do baby seats in the cars. They test pretty much anything to do with transport. So I said, could you replicate a life-threatening injury? And that's what they done for us. And they said when you put an airbag on, to get the same level of injury, the way they explained it to me easy enough is a 30-mile-an-hour crash. If you had this airbag on, you would have to go 120 miles an hour to get the same sort of injury.
Wow!
With the
when you wore the air vest.
Wow!
And I've seen video of riders who have fallen off, and the horses have they've ended up under the horses, which is what happens a lot of times in a rotational fall or any falls, and the vest has protected them there too. They would have ended up with broken ribs and things there too.
Yeah.
Let me talk a little bit though about the materials because you have to wear it first in order for it to protect you. And I know that a lot of riders are afraid of being distracted or uncomfortable. They can't. So what is the material? It's almost like a nylon canvas.
It's made of highly resistant polyester.
Polyester,
so
okay.
Yeah, very, very robust material, very strong.
And then there's a canister, a CO2 canister.
Correct.
And once the pin is pulled on that, it activates their airbags within the vest.
And do you have airbags front, back, and shoulders?
It's one continuous airbag.
Okay.
That's the important thing of this. And it goes around the neck, down each side of the spine, so that there's no pressure on the spine, and it has a mesh, which is very important, that's in between those airbags, so you can't get your hand in there and touch the spine. So it's lifting 3 or 4 inches away from your spine to protect the spine as well.
And it's pretty lightweight. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's pretty lightweight. How much does it weigh?
It's just under 2 pounds.
With the canister?
With the canister.
Because the canister is the thing that probably weighs the most here.
It
and you
is,
can't
yeah.
avoid that. I mean, it's a CO2 canister.
Yeah.
And they're replaceable. Once you use it, you just put a new canister in and go back out and ride.
Screw a new canister in, off you go again.
Yeah.
And how do you find, obviously different shaped and different size riders, how do you find the best fit?
It's you've got 3 clips on there. They're all fully adjustable. All we tell people is make sure you can get 2 fists inside the jacket before you set off, because I hear people, they go and they draw it really tight, do it up really tight, and they've got to allow for this thing to inflate. So don't do that.
We'll do that with Jamie tomorrow and see what happens. We'll see what kind of color she turns.
Let's see how much your kidneys can take.
Now, I think wasn't it Clayton Fredericks last year was at badminton, and he accidentally got one of the hazards of this.
I was standing right there.
Were you?
When he done it. I went up to him to say, unclip yourself, and then I saw the TV cameras there, and I thought, nah, let him jump off.
One of the
That was a great advert.
One of the hazards of this is when the riders get off, they forget they have it on, and it's attached to the horse, and you hop off, and it goes off. And it was a hilarious moment that was being filmed at that time.
It was a good. It proved that it doesn't frighten the horses. Everyone says, "Oh, is it going to frighten the horse?
Yeah.
Is this noise going to frighten the horse?" I've never seen it frighten. I'm not going to say horses are.
Right.
They're all different.
You can't say
but
never. Yeah.
It's such a quick noise. It's over and done with.
It's
Time
like
the
a
horse looks around, it's finished. It's not a continuous noise, and then the horse will be
and
off.
it's not like a bang like a gun. It's more like a
With everything going on around you, that they don't notice it. And 9 times out of 10, when this deploys, something's gone wrong, and they're concentrating on that, not that noise.
Right, exactly. Now, after it deflates, once it's deployed, it deflates. How long does that take?
It will hold you tight for about 15 seconds. So it's trying to support you. It has to hold you really tight because it's trying to stop hyperflexion of the spine. So hold you tight 15 seconds, and then the air is slowly coming out. There's a dump valve in there, so it won't overhaul you. So go to a certain pressure, and then that's releasing, and then it takes about 2 minutes for all the air to come out.
Now, does that extra 15 seconds help protect the rider further from, say, getting underneath the horse? And so once you come off, then you're at risk for being stepped on, kicked, swiped, whatever.
Yeah.
Does that
most accidents are over in half a second.
Okay.
But there was one at Burley this year. The girl fell off, and she got a foot stuck in the pedal and she was getting dragged. So that was a perfect example why we needed 15 seconds. It seemed probably a long time for that rider, but it was actually only like 5 or 6 seconds. But that's why we wanted to stay up for longer.
Okay, yeah, 5 or 6 seconds when you're being dragged.
It's not very nice, no.
No, it's a long time. And now it comes in a whole bunch of different sizes, from small to extra large. You do have these for children?
We've just bought one out for children. It's taken all year to do it. Craig's been getting really annoyed with me because all these customers are saying, we're wearing it for ourselves, we want it for our children. But it's taken a lot of testing to get this right. We couldn't put them inside the adult one because it's going to be hard to explain on the radio. Imagine an airbag a foot wide, yeah? And you want it to come all the way in and then all the way back out. When you put a child in this, it was too tough. It's like a car tyre, so it didn't have enough give. So we used a stretch material, so they're using the full benefit of the airbag.
So the airbag can fully expand.
Yeah,
with
correct.
that. Okay.
Just because the kids are a lot
too
lighter.
light to go in this jacket.
Whose kids did you use to test this? What parent was brave enough to?
We had to give them penny of chocolate. They're right.
And I can see too, with kids, their bones are not as solidified yet. You had a lot of other factors to think about.
Yeah,
putting
sure.
an airbag on them, that expands this quickly.
Exactly.
How does it go over a traditional safety vest, though?
It
That's
fits.
A lot,
You just have to.
It's.
And why? Why do you need both layers of protection?
The reason that you have to do that is because you cannot get away from the fact if something went wrong, the jacket didn't inflate, you've got no protection until this jacket inflates. One thing I can guarantee you're not in a worse position because you're putting this over added protection over and above what you've got at the moment. It's like you can't guarantee for your airbag in your car to go off. But you wouldn't dream of buying a car without an airbag in there. But
you're still going to wear your seatbelt.
You're still going to wear your seatbelt. So you have to wear both.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So,
Do these float in the water? They come off in the water complex?
They do. They do.
Oh, the girls have got a picture on the screen on the computer in the office. Someone sent a picture in. The girl's knocked out in the lake, and she's floating. She's still got the whip in her hand,
no.
and she's face up, floating in the lake. Where she's hit the water jump, she hit the horse's head, knocked her clean out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Next, we'll have to have airbags for the helmets. Well, this is great. And there was talk about trying to combine this airbag with a traditional vest and making them all one unit.
Yeah.
Is that still being looked at?
Yeah, we've done one. We've done one for the racing jockeys at home. They tried this one. It couldn't work this way for them because they need it to be tight to them because they need to be aerodynamic. So we have built
nice.
one into a jockey vest. So it's just one piece.
It's
Wow.
called the hybrid.
It's
And
called
we
the-
were
it's-
looking at one right here,
It's called the
actually.
hybrid, and this is actually coming out at £2, and that is a body protector and an airbag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this
And Alina's almost small enough to be a jockey.
the one, yeah, I
Let's
wouldn't
hope
hit
she
weight
doesn't
limit.
pull the
No,
cord
that's for
right
sure.
now. Yeah.
So now this is nice and short. Yeah. Okay. So how much is this weigh? How much did this weigh?
That's £2 as well. So we built this in. That's a jockey vest. So all we've done is slid an airbag on the outside of that, and got a light material there to hold it together.
Okay. Now here's a sensitive question. Bear with me. When these things blow up, we got special women's issues to deal with. How high up do they get you right in the chest, or is it just below?
It's going to hold your chest as well. It's all over.
It's all over. So it
Yeah.
goes from
Yeah.
where? Oh, so all the way up to your
It comes
shoulder.
right down.
Yeah, it goes around your
wraps
neck,
around
actually.
your neck,
Everywhere where you see
all
the-
down your rib cage.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Cover your liver and your spleen and
Jamie
the
will tell us.
coccyx to the top of your
We've
neck.
been out on the West Coast, and we were in California. We certainly had no problem out there when we're dependent on
Oh,
a lot of
good.
deployments
I see
out
what you
there.
get.
Great.
Yeah, there
now
we
that's
go.
a market you need to test. We just gotta, chicks and
Okay.
eggs too.
On that note,
Great. And it comes in 8 colors.
8 colours.
yeah,
Colours for the
and that's
ladies.
something new. You didn't used to have all the colors.
I didn't want to go there, but everyone was.
Do you have
They're
pink?
eventers. Come on.
They
Yeah,
wanted
that's
their
right.
colours.
They do.
They want their
Inventors like colors. So this is terrific. Where can people buy them?
Sorry,
Where can people buy them?
Craig.
We have about 65 stores throughout the US, the retailers, the big guys, Dover Saddlery, Smart Pack, Bit of Britain, Farm Vet, these big, large online retailers, they're all stocking the products as well as in all the stores.
Now, do you have a website? Is there a website for 0.2?
Also, we have a distribution centre in Canada, so the product's been available up there now as well. So,
Good. And it's 0.2.
.2usa.com is the
Okay.
website.
All right.
And do you have a list of dealers available on there?
On the website, you
So
can
someone
see
can
a
log
full,
onto your
you can see
website.
a
And
full
we'll-
stockists.
And what do
post
these
a link.
run?
$675 is what the black jacket, the standard black jacket, sells for, and the colors sell for $715.
And then do they come with extra cartridges? You buy them separate, or?
the jacket comes ready to use with a canister, and then the replacement canisters sell for $24.
Oh, well, this is a lot cheaper than one visit to the emergency room.
Exactly.
So,
Now, someone had said that it's a good idea to deploy the canister, deploy the airbags once before you actually need to do that. What do you think about that? Is that
Yeah, it's actually a good thing to do. I do that with all my stores in England now. When they walk out, I say set it off, because I've heard a couple of stories where someone says there was a girl screaming when she landed because she couldn't breathe. Well, if you can scream, you can breathe. She'd done it up to.
I breathe really well, even with my face in the dirt.
Yeah, it's the shock. It was the shock of the fall, the adrenaline rush when you've just fallen, and then bang, something
Yeah.
grabs hold of you. But it has to hold you that tight. So it's nice to know what it feels like, because it's like having your blood pressure taken all over your body. But once you've had it set off in a normal situation, you know the jacket's doing its job.
That's got to be a good feeling when you come off. It's almost like a good feeling, like
It's very supportive.
protected,
Yeah,
you know?
you feel
Not that I
very
ever want to
supported.
test it out, but
Well,
I kind
you
of
can
do.
go back on. We did this at the show on Horses in the Morning. Jamie and I tried it out. So we'll post that video on Tack and Habit too. So you can go to tackandhabit.com for this episode, and you'll get to see the video of Jamie and I with our eyes real big. So that'll be there
You're
for
gonna
you as
scream
well.
like a girl. I know it.
So that's point
Great.
2. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
So, Helena, we got after we recorded that piece, the next morning we had Craig and Lee back because Jamie had to. And then
Well, she can.
we had them back for the morning show, and they actually blew up these air vests on Jamie and I live during the morning show. And we did a video of it that we're going to post on Tack and Habit and Stable Scoop Facebook pages. You want to hop over there and take a watch. It was a chuckle, let me tell you.
It was hysterical. I have to say, you know, the two fellas had the pins in their hands, and they were sort of explaining things to Jamie and Glenn, and then kaboom. And, you know, I was standing right next to Jamie when the vests went off, and the sound wasn't that bad at all. It wasn't scary. It wasn't a big loud boom or anything. So I say to Jamie, I'm like, well, that wasn't that bad. And she's like, you know, not realizing that this thing had just totally compressed her body, you know, and mine, I'm going, oh, it's not that bad. And she turns to me with her eyes bugged out of her head, like, are you kidding me? It was great. I definitely recommend that everybody log on to Facebook and check.
She was a little nervous about it anyway. She was a lot more nervous about it than I was. She was a little apprehensive to even do it.
Which is so funny because she's the eventer in the family.
I know. But it was constricting. I'll tell you what, when it goes off, you're tight in there.
Yeah.
I can see why they work because you're tight in there and you definitely have like 4 inches of air around you, all around you. But, you know, it's not, you know, I wouldn't say it's crushing. You know, you don't feel like you can't breathe or anything.
It doesn't knock the wind out of you.
No, but it did. When they caught us off guard like that, and, you know, I talked to them later and they said they do that because people tense up. So they try and catch you a little off guard because they don't want you to tense up because that makes it worse.
And that's how that's how the product works, is that it happens so fast.
Oh, and it's fast. When they say a quarter of a second, they mean a quarter of a second.
I know.
But you're right, the sound is just a whoosh. You know, it's not a, you know.
It's not a boom.
Yeah, people expect gunfire, you know.
Right.
And what you get is whoosh, you know, and it's, I can see why that doesn't bug the horses too much.
No.
But it was fun. It was fun to do. I enjoyed it.
I think the most surprising thing was that one of the things that I was surprised to learn was that how it stabilizes your skeleton, your body. At first, I thought it was just cushioning. You know, it softened any kind of impact.
I thought it would be softer, but the back, it's really hard when it inflates.
It's like you know, having a back brace on, which is amazingly protective. I have a whole new respect for this product now that I know its secondary effect on your safety.
It's not cheap, you know. It's certainly not a cheap product, but you know, as I said in the interview there, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than a visit to the hospital.
And you know what? It's a lot cheaper than a saddle.
That's true.
I mean, think of what people spend on saddles. This is
true.
something that saves your life, or even a pair of boots.
It's true. I was impressed. I was impressed, and I had a lot of fun doing that. And we'll put the show notes on both Stable Scoop and Tack and Habit for all of these products so that you can go there. You can find links to it, so you don't have to remember all the websites we gave out today. You can just go to tackandhabit.com or go to stablescoop.com, and we'll put links to all of these products that we highlighted. Now, that was just 3 of the 22 recordings that we did over the weekend. So we're going to have a lot more coming for you in the upcoming weeks. We're going to put 2 on a week like we normally do. So you're going to be hearing all about the great stuff that we did and all the fun we had there. We met some characters. You're going to want to listen in the future for a product that was put out by the Gun-Totin' Mamas.
That one was pretty awesome.
Let me tell you, she was a trip.
She knew her stuff, man. That was impressive.
Anything that, you know, and how about the Mule Moms? So we're going to want to hear about the products from the Mule Moms.
I was just on the Mule Moms website singing along. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's really nice.
We found some unique products, and we also had some companies on that you're going to recognize. So there's a little bit of everything coming up. And I don't think we didn't do 2 of the same products No, we didn't. I'm just looking over the list. There were
Nope.
two of the same products, like not two pairs of boots, or, it was just completely different stuff. Yeah. So you have that to look forward to coming up on the Tack and Habit Show over the next 10 weeks or so. So we hope that you join us over there. If you're a Stable Scoop listener, give Tack and Habit a try. As you can see, we have a little fun doing it. So it's a good show. Did I promote it enough now?
What's that?
Did we promote it enough now?
Yeah, I think we did. It really is. I mean, it's like, for example, there were a pair of boots that Ariat's putting out that they only had prototypes for. They're not even in production yet. So if you want to see some hot new skips, you got to go to Tack and Habit. Check out the pics.
Good. Cool. And, of course, you can find all of our shows at the Horse Radio Network. Jamie, if you have not met her yet and just see her in that video for the first time of us getting blown up, she is the host of the Horses in the Morning show, live every morning from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time at horsesinthemorning.com. And for all the details, as we said, on the show, you can go see our show notes at stablescoop.com or tackandhabit.com. This is the point where you say, and we'd love your feedback.
What if I don't want to say that?
Okay, say something else then.
No, we really do love your feedback. As always, you can follow us on Facebook under Stable Scoop and Twitter at Horse Radio. And don't forget, you can also go to stablescoop.com and leave us feedback on the contact page.
She's not very good at following directions, everybody.
Well, no, you know what? I have two sets of show notes open: Tack and Habit and Stable Scoop.
I'm probably looking at the opposite one.
I know. And so I'm trying to be super organized, and I end up being just a great big mess.
I do have one quick question for you before you go.
Yeah.
You took the Acela train for the first time. That's the super fast one that goes from like Boston down to Philadelphia and Washington, D.C.
Yep.
Is it nice?
It's so nice.
Really?
It's so, so nice. I wouldn't say that it's super fast. I think between New York and D.C., it can go pretty fast. The track isn't as... they have problems with the track, so the tracks can't support some of the higher speeds that the Acela train can go. So it goes fast, definitely.
It's supposed to go up to like 200 miles an hour. I mean, it
like 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, it can go fast.
Yeah, and we definitely did that between New York and Philadelphia. That was kind of fun. But it's so smooth and quiet, and it's
Is it comfortable?
bright.
You're not all smashed in like you are with the other trains?
Nope, you're not all smashed in. You can sit, you can move your seats. I don't want to say they rotate, but they flip direction. You can change the direction. Have a table. You can plug. They have outlets.
So you have a table for like a laptop?
Yep. They have wireless. They have huge bathrooms. They have a really cute cafe cart. I got lunch there. Had an amazing turkey wrap sandwich and some cranberry juice and some chips. It was just, and they didn't break the bank, how they sometimes slip you off on these trains. It was really one of the most lovely trips I've ever taken. You don't even realize the time that goes by.
Wow. And so now, was it mostly business people doing work while they were...
There were a lot of business people, but no, there were some, there were some people who looked like they were traveling for pleasure or recreation. Huh. I can't really tell. I couldn't really tell. But yeah, there were a lot of business people.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you got to do that. Jennifer's a big train lover, so one of these days we're going to have to take the Acela.
Oh, I'll never fly through the Northeast Corridor again, because you know what? The easiest part about this was getting in and out of the train.
Oh, you mean
versus
it didn't body cavity search you or anything?
No, I stepped off I caught the train in Providence, so I stepped out of the car, went like 50 yards, and there was the platform. My check-in took me probably 8 minutes. I got on the train and we left on time. There was no waiting for anybody, sitting on the tarmac. It was, your train leaves at 1:07 p.m. and we were
better be on it.
And that's what the conductor says. He's like, this train leaves at 1:07 p.m. with or without you. It was great. And then when of course, when you get off, it was just so much easier than.
Well, and you went into the Philadelphia train station, which is absolutely beautiful.
The 30th Street station, stunning. I actually had to take pictures. Yes,
it's beautiful. It's huge. I mean, the ceiling must be 300 feet high. It's huge.
It is huge. There's a beautiful statue in the center of it. There are birds flying around.
And they have good
shop,
food
plenty
in
of places
too,
to eat.
actually. Yeah. Well, Well, good. I'm glad you had a good trip, and I'm sure we'll be back there in 6 months again for the next AETA trade show. It's a lot of fun.
I can't wait.
We have to give a thank you to Kent Hopper and to Hopper Expositions and to Lua at AETA for all of them for having us over. They foot the bill and they have us there and they allow us to do our thing, and they really don't put any restrictions on us. We're allowed to have as much fun as we want, and I think we were disruptive a time or two, and they didn't care. So
thank you so much. And a big thank you to Uncle Jimmy and Uncle Tommy for taking us on a scenic tour.
We got a scenic tour of King of Prussia, and then they took us out to dinner. That was very nice.
Thank you.
We got to talk about his hanging balls and his other products.
Yeah, and we got to make some friends at Charles Owen, and there was somebody else. There was another company. It's so funny because when we all got out together, so many different companies are represented. At the end of the day, you're like, who do you work for?
Yeah, exactly.
You leave friends, but everybody sort of works for a different company.
Well, good job, everybody, and thank you for inviting us. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to seeing you all back there in 6 months again. And we'll be back here next week for both of the shows. A clever, creative line like, bye, everybody.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.